Shame the Lord's name that we afflicted with pain on the apple body was to be respected by stand-up niggas, not knowing that the hand to make the product of the morning was to be an extra. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made fuck the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made fuck the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. I ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. You should have put the streets, you get more and did it. It ain't nothing telling, put me on papers, ain't no restrictions. My father said a hard had to make a soft ass. I didn't care, I wanted fear when I walked past. In a place where a black man's blood is cheap. I think the Lord wanted that I was on Main Street. Listen in the club, back and forth to court, found in DC school. I swear it felt like I crowd on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, they ain't hear my voice. Asked me why I'm U.P.K, I told them I ain't have a choice. They said out in 50-50 it was gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world and that's not right. I thought it was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made from the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger.
Yeah, Shalom.
Shalom.
We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. All right? We've been teaching the truth according to this Bible since 1969. I am Officer Makar Kwabal out of the Trinidad and Tobago camp under Officer Galawan. All right? What we're going to be going into today, today is the Monday night's history class. So we're going to be going into a little history so that we're going to understand, more in depth the history of the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man, right? This class today is specifically directed to this. The Trinidad and Tobago community is going to understand who they are. According to the scriptures, they're going to understand their identity and their culture. All right? So first, before I open up, let me go to a scripture. All right? Somebody will give me Romans chapter 10, verse 2 and verse 3.
Romans, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Book of Romans. 10, 2 and 3.
Yeah, the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 2.
Okay. The book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God.
Right. So Paul is saying here, I bear them record, right, that they have a zeal for the Most High. So you say that the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man, we have a zeal to serve the Most High, right? But in having that zeal to serve the Most High power, there's a problem, right? And Paul is going to bring that out. Read on.
Can. But not according to knowledge.
But what?
But not according to knowledge.
So that zeal that the black man has to serve God, that zeal, and what knowledge is that? The knowledge of the scriptures. The things that the so-called black man, Hispanic man, and the native Indian man partakes in, Christos, Baptist, Pentecostal, Muslim, right? Whatever it may be, it is not according to knowledge. It is not according to his history. It is not according to his records. It is not according to his culture. And that is what the so-called black man must understand. All right? That was all on it?
Verse 2.
Yeah, read on.
Can. Verse 3. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness.
Right, read that again.
Can. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness.
So the black man, right? The so-called black man, right? I want to say so-called black man, as I said before, native Indian, the so-called black man and Hispanics, not Africans, because we are not Africans. And we're going to keep reiterating that and bring out other classes to show that the so-called black man on the Western Libyan captivity is not an African. We are the Israelites or the real Jews according to the Bible. All right, read it again.
Can. Romans chapter 10 and verse 3.
Right.
For they being ignorant of God's righteousness.
Right. So the so-called black man being ignorant of the Most High righteousness, being ignorant of what the Most High requires, being ignorant of his culture and of his laws. Read on.
Can. And going about to establish their own righteousness.
Going about to do what?
Establish their own righteousness.
So now, what we are in, we are trying to establish our own righteousness, right? So when you look, you have women teachers, you have homosexuality within the church. Some of us are Muslims, which is a Islamic doctrine,
right?
Right. Some of us are Baptists, which was started by the Ku Klux Klan and so forth, right? Read up.
Can. Have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God.
What we have not done?
Have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God.
And what we as so-called black people needed to do is to submit ourselves to the righteousness of the Most High power, which means you're going to go back to your culture. And we have commandments and we have statutes that govern our people, that govern our nation, that governs our society as a body of people. All right, this has been given to us since Adam. And as we keep going into these classes every Monday, we're going to bring these things out to show you, contrary to your Christian preacher, we as a people, the chosen of the Most High, have been given laws to follow since Adam.
Right.
Right? So what we're going to do, because Christians say, my people. You talk about God's people, but the scriptures show who is the Lord's people. The Most High is saying, who is my people? These people belong to the Most High. And we're going to see who these people are by reading out of the book of Exodus, chapter 3 and verse 10. We're going to see who the Most High said or is saying is his people. Because we have heard enough lies from the Christian teachers and leaders in terms of who are God's people. Are we all God's people? But let us hear what the Most High has to say. But read on.
Can. The book of Exodus, chapter 3 and verse 10.
Right.
Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh,
right,
that thou mayest bring forth my people.
Right. So this account is when the Most High sent Moses to deliver, as scripture is saying, his people out of the land of Egypt. Not everybody to be delivered out, but his people. Read it from the top again.
Can. Exodus chapter 3 and verse 10.
Right.
Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel.
Bring forth what?
My people.
Right. Read
the
on.
Children of Israel.
What?
The children of Israel.
So the Lord's people are the children of Israel. The so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man. And we must reach to the place to understand that we are the chosen of the Most High.
Right.
Even locally in Trinidad, we consider ourselves Trinidadians. We consider ourselves descendants of Grenadians. So some of us have families that come from Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and so forth that migrated to Trinidad. Right? But your fathers and your fathers' fathers, they are of the nation of Israel. And we must understand this study. That was all on that. Read on.
Can. Bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
Out of what?
Out of Egypt.
Right. So the Lord's people was brought out of Egypt. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to play a little video, right? Maybe 2 videos to show something important that the so-called black man doesn't understand in terms of the scriptures. These scriptures were written by black men. All right. And black men writing these scriptures, right, now being transferred to Greek, and transferred from Greek, Salakia, and from Hebrew. What happens now? You are now learning this Bible from your oppressor. And your oppressor cannot teach you this Bible. And we're going to show 2 videos to give you a basic understanding why the oppressor cannot teach you this Bible. This Bible is a black man's book. And to learn this Bible, you must be taught by black men in the I.S.U.P.K.
Right.
Under Commandant General YAHANNA. There's no other way you're going to understand these scriptures. The Most High has his priests and his prophets that are of a specific bloodline that was ordained to teach these scriptures.
Right.
All right. Before we go to the video, give me Romans chapter 9 and verse 1. Because the scriptures, even in the New Testament, have established who are the ones that is supposed to give the laws of God to the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man.
Right.
All right. Give it from the top. Romans 9 and verse 1.
Karankan. Book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 1.
Right.
I say the truth in Christ.
Right. So Paul is saying, I say the truth in Yahweh Shai, who we call Christ today, Yahweh Shai in Hebrew. Read on.
Karankan. I lie not.
Right. He's saying he's not lying. He lies not. Read on.
My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit.
Right.
That I have a great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart.
Right. So Paul had a great heaviness and continual sorrow in his heart, as is today. The I.S.U.P.K holds that great heaviness and continual sorrow for the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man, because we are destroyed through slavery, through captivity.
Right.
We don't understand and know who we are as a people. So due to that, we are not able to really have that genuine love for one another, as we say in the world. Read on.
Karankan. Verse 3. For I could wish myself were accursed from Christ.
Right. So Paul was saying he could wish himself accursed from Christ, cut off for Christ, for a reason. Read on.
Karankan. For my brethren.
For who?
For my brethren.
Right. For his brethren. Read on.
My kinsmen.
Of his kinsmen, which is your family. Read on.
According to the flesh.
According to the flesh. Paul was writing this letter speaking to his people, his kinsman, according to the flesh.
Right.
Not everybody on the planet. Paul was specifically talking to black people.
Right.
That is what we must understand. Even if you read James 1 and 1, these letters in the Bible, right, are addressed to the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man. All right, that was all on that.
Yeah.
What was reach?
First John, the end of verse 3.
Read on.
Karankan. Verse 4. Who are Israelites?
Who are what?
Who are Israelites?
So Paul is saying his brethren, his kinsman, according to the flesh. They are what?
Israelites.
They are Israelites. And that is who the so-called black man is today. It's time that we start understanding and knowing our history.
Right.
And that is what we're bringing out today. The so-called black man is a what?
Israelite.
Is an Israelite. Read on.
Karankan. To whom pertaineth the adoption.
Right. To whom pertain, which means belong. The adoption. We was adopted back to the Most High. That was the purpose of Christ coming to the earth, is to redeem, right, the so-called black man back to the Most High, because he was cut off from the Most High.
Right.
All right. In the book of Hosea. All right. Read on.
Karankan. And the glory.
What pertains to us again?
And the glory.
And the glory. All right. Read on.
Karankan. And the covenants.
And the covenants belong to the so-called black man. All right. Because we broke the covenants of the Most High in the book of Jeremiah 51. Read on.
Karankan. And the giving of the law.
Who's supposed to give the law?
Israelites.
No, read Salakia. Read it again.
And the giving of the law.
And the giving of the law. The so-called black man is the ones ordained and instituted by the Most High to give the laws of God.
Right.
There is no other race on the planet, according to the scriptures, that is supposed to teach out of the book of the Lord. This is for a specific bloodline and a specific race of persons. We have been so destroyed that a black man telling you that is like, nah, that can't be true. Because society have made you and broken you in so much that you can never believe and really comprehend and understand the love of the Most High power. That you have chosen the black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man to be his servants and his prophets. All right? So now you'll go to the video from it. That was the end, right?
Last.
I read on again before we go to the video.
And the service of God.
And we also supposed to be doing the service of God. Read on.
And the promises.
And the promises belongs to the so-called black man in the scriptures. That's what we must understand. All right? That was it.
Right. Last.
This one?
5.
No, that's it.
Right?
Right. So now we're going to go to a video, right? And that's going to make us understand the psychological perspective, right? Or why your Christian preacher could never teach you this Bible. All right? There are things about the so-called black man that the Most High have given us. He said, ye are the salt of the earth.
That's right.
All right? We are the salt of the earth. And there's no other race on the planet that has that salt. We as a people, our problem initially, no, today, is division. We are divided as a people. But we are the salt of the earth. We do everything better.
Right.
Running, jumping, swimming, climbing, music. The list goes on. Our natural creativity is different from every other race on the planet.
Okay.
And that is what we must understand, that we are the salt of the earth. All right? So you play the video now.
Okay.
That's 2 chains. Call your girl, she hit me back like you ain't. I'm the hottest thing you say. Mental institutions asking me, is you saying? You basic dude, you tripping. Lace your shoes, think again, deja vu. Play with me, you play the loose. Call your homies, they be the bravest fools. I mean, take the clues.
An individual's ability to speak spontaneously, authoritatively, in the vernacular is not only highly prized, but is literally used in verbal combat.
When you finish round 1 or you cast a stone, look the crowd.
Right? So what the video is bringing out here is something that the so-called black man naturally possesses. They term it ebonics. But what we're going to bring out is the reason why your Christian pastor or no other race can really teach you this Bible is the way that the black man speaks. The way the black man expresses himself is something unique across the planet. Africans can't do this.
Right.
All right? This is something that is built into the so-called black man. All right? Jump down about halfway. Yeah. Just now. Come on back here. Come on, someone. About here. Right. About here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily genuine. Your mama joke, you know, your cousin, you know, there's no boundaries, you know. I've heard all the type of jokes, all the type of like direct blazes, so somebody might call it blazing. It didn't have to be like, you know, I hate you. It's just we just battle with words, you know.
It's as much about the language itself and the connections that are being made as it is about like how language, like how it's being delivered.
And Carol, aiming that barrel, you rolling the flame, touching the game. Victor and Hurricane, then I'm a hurricane. As much slang as we use in hip hop, there are probably more people that would have been English majors or writers in hip hop than there is in any other genre. Just the usage of words like metaphors, similes, double entendres, triple entendres. You might not even have a high school diploma, and you know how to use these.
Right. Pause for a minute. So even listen to what is being brought out, right? The brother is saying you might even have a diploma, but what is taking place, right? Our style of speaking is something unique. So when you read in the Bible, you might read, for example, about the Jews, and you may read about the Gentiles. So you know, not having your culture, right? What is going to happen to you? You're going to read this Bible with a white mind,
Right.
Because of colonialism.
Right.
And that is what we must understand. In this Bible, when you hear about the Gentiles, being a black man, understanding your culture, you know it's going to be speaking in context based on what you read about your people.
Right.
So naturally, what we do, if a man lying around a certain group of people, like locally, we might call him a one shepherd man. It might sound away. But a man is identifying you with your behavior, right? Or the mentality you associate with. And in past times, when the so-called black man lived as an heathen, we call you what? A Gentile.
Right.
Because you have walked away from your culture, you have walked away from your laws. All right? And that's what you must understand. Keep playing.
Okay.
People think that African American English is picking up these things from hip hop,
Right?
when in fact hip hop.
No, so if you listen, the oppressor is making a careful study at the ebonics or the language of the so-called black man. And he's saying something that we need to pay a lot of attention to. You know? I mean, Plato.
Is making use of long-standing features of African American English.
mean, we're in a situation where people don't own property, unemployment is high.
Pull back that last piece again. I think you missed something. Believe. Right, come back until. Right, go ahead.
Okay.
And English is picking up these things from hip hop, when in fact hip hop is making use of long-standing features of African American English.
Right. So now we say people don't understand. It's not this conversation or this way we speak is not being picked up on hip hop. That is features that was long standing within African Americans or so-called black people. That is the way we speak. All right, jump to the next video one time.
Okay.
Now this video might be a little low, but this was a Washington Senate debate. All right, over Black Americans, dialect and Ebonics. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether federal funds earmarked for bilingual education should be made available for a Ebonics-based program, and third, whether Ebonics was to be taught in classrooms. The burden further
Right,
stated
that's all
that
right.
they
So the debate they're having here, because this one is a bit low, is that they're trying to figure out or debate whether Ebonics or the way that black people talk should be taught in classes. All right, Leon?
Okay.
quote, approve the policy affirming standard American English language development for all students, close quote. Further, that quote, language development for
Thank you for holding the hearing, and thank you for letting me join you this morning. I think Ebonics is absurd. This is political correctness that simply has gone out of control.
Right, hold on. So the oppressor here is saying he think that this is absurd. All right, to teach the way that the so-called black man expresses himself, to teach this in school. He thinking that this is absurd, but our sister is going to bring on a very valid point, right? Within the video. Play. Right, so this is black people here being taught in a white educational system.
Okay, a living thing. Nobody is saying we want to change English, we want to teach Black English. Nobody's saying that. Confirming its goal to teach standard American English.
Second, fund a longer school day and school year to support education. We recognize the children who come to us, many of the children who come to us.
Right, and this is where the main point is going to be brought out in this video. All right, Cleo?
Okay.
Have language systems that are not consistent with standard English.
Right, so
Teachers,
she's saying that the so-called black man have language systems that is not consistent with standard English. The way we speak, the way we express ourselves, it is not consistent with standard English.
Right.
And the point that she's bringing out now is going to make you understand that your Christian pastor passing through these white systems and white teachings is in no way capable of making you understand this Bible when the scripture is showing you that this Bible is a black man's book. All right?
Right.
So that can want to say.
Yes, yeah. Let's go back before we bring another.
Right, it might be a fire, it might be a closer.
When these Christian pastors go to white seminary schools,
Right.
white theology schools,
Right.
you only get that white concept. And you know that being taught.
Right.
The person who didn't understand our culture.
That's right. Right, and that is very important. And these things we need to pay attention to. It seems simplistic, but these are things that we need to pay attention to. Clear?
Okay.
teachers need to be aware of those systems, and they must have tools to move the students from those systems to standard English.
Right. Hold it again. So what she's bringing out, the problem is not the children lack or lack of capability of understanding the English, but it's not the students that adjust. It's the white teachers that need to adjust because it's a white system trying to teach a black man, and that is where the difficulty is coming in. Your pastor, with his white mind, is trying to teach you black history.
Right.
All right? Yeah. All right? And Give me Jeremiah 14 and 2.
Okay.
So now we're going to go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. This is going to establish, according to the scriptures, right, what the Jews look like. Because we have heard so many times that this Bible is a white man Bible, or the Jews white. But this is not consistent and not according to scriptures. All right, give me Jeremiah 14 and 2.
Yeah, can. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth.
Read that again.
Judah mourneth.
The scriptures are saying that the Jews are in mourning. All right? So the Jews, the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man, they are the ones on the planet in mourning, in the ghettos and in the slums, in Silots, in Junjun, in Labrie, in Lavantil, in Congo, in Arima. The Jews, we are the ones that are mourning. Read on.
And the gates thereof languish.
Right, and the gates thereof languish. Languish is showing that our leaders, that is the ones that's supposed to protect this nation or this people, they are not protecting us. That is people like Creflo Dollar, T.D. Jakes, and so forth. They are not protecting the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man from the dangers of this society. Because that is how the nation of Israel was established. We have leaders that is going to protect the nation or protect the people, teach us our laws and our customs. All right? So, for example, things that you're seeing happening right now, like the coronavirus and in past times, cholera and so forth, these things would have not taken place. And our people would have not been affected of these things if our leaders had established ways that we should live.
Right.
All right? We would have ourselves separate, as the scriptures say. Separate from other nations, so we would have been protected. All right, read on.
They are black onto the ground.
The Jews are what?
They are black onto the ground.
So the scriptures are saying that the Jews, they are black onto the ground. And that is what we need to understand. The Jews are black men, black women.
Right.
Right? Israelites according to the Bible.
Right.
All right, that was all?
That's it.
Read on.
And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
Right, and the scriptures are saying the cry of the so-called black man, the cry of Jerusalem, it is gone up. The Most High is hearing our cry.
Right.
That is why today we have the coronavirus, right? Dealing with our oppressors. The ones that have lynched us and raped us and have not been brought into justice. They are being the ones today that is feeling that pain.
Right.
Right? Because the Most High is saying, whatsoever a man sow, that shall he also reap. And that is what we must understand. That was it, right?
Okay.
All right. Pull up the next thing in the meantime. Let me open the next video. Pull up the article. Okay. All right, let me start going into that.
First one, right?
Yeah, just give me the first one. Right. So the last class we was having last week Monday, right, was bringing out the cholera epidemic. Just keep showing up slow.
Okay.
Right, and the devastating effects, right, that the cholera epidemic had in Trinidad. Right, this cholera epidemic started in East India, right, and this spread and come all the way to Europe, all the way to Jamaica, and then it reached to Trinidad. Right, and we're bringing out from the last class, thousands of persons in this country lost their lives due to the cholera epidemic. All right, and this is because the nations or the heathen, they do not have the laws of the Most High and the rules of the Most High to govern their society.
Right.
And as long as they are in power, running this earth, we're going to consistently and continually have pandemics. Because sometimes, due to our lack of paying attention to history, there are a lot of things that we miss. Even in India, there were several pandemics from this same cholera, eating shellfish, and crab, right? Make this epidemic and this outbreak spread across the world and kill a lot of people, thousands of people locally in Trinidad. All right? That is why the laws of God is needed to run this society.
Right.
But through Christianity, through the so-called oppressor, the white man, this entire society is running out of course. All right, and we need to understand that, right? So we're going to be going into a little local history here. I'm just going to touch on the people bull, right? So we got, yeah, let's leave it from right? Slavery and Christianity, right? A papal bull was declared that gave whites the authority to enslave blacks. And people will be like, why are you talking about slavery? Because when you go into other classes, we're going to keep bringing out more and more the importance of the so-called black man, Hispanic man, and a Native Indian man running this society, right, under the I.S.U.P.K.
Right.
All right? So the papal bull was declared that gave whites the authority to enslave blacks and convert them to Christianity, right? And this is what we don't understand. Christianity is rubbish.
Right.
Christianity is not for the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man. Christianity is fairy tale.
Right.
Christianity has nothing to do with the Bible. And it's high time that we realize that even within this pandemic, right, even within the coronavirus, we can see that Christianity is a lie. Where is your Christian leaders? They've been raising the dead, healing the sick, healing cancer, and doing all these things for how many years?
Right.
And every time there's a pandemic or a crisis that hits the earth, none of them is there to be found.
Right.
We call it Pastor Coffee, Pastor Jenna, the Baptist Church, none of these, the Muslim mosque, none of these great spiritual leaders is anywhere to be found.
Right.
When there's a pandemic and an outbreak. There are thousands of people dying all over the world. They ain't raising no dead. They lay their hands on the coronavirus sick.
Right.
These are the things we must consider and wake up out of these foolishness and these foolish ideas and foolish doctrines that is not according to the scriptures. That is not according to the history of the black man. We never knew nothing about that rubbish. Christianity.
Right.
All right. A papal bull is a particular type of letter, right? A particular type of letters, patent, or charter issued by a pope of the Catholic Church. And this Catholic Church is where all church sprang from, right? So all the other churches, the Pentecostal church, whatever name they give them, is Presbyterian church. Salapia. Churches that have broken off from the Catholic Church.
Right.
And that is what we must understand. All right? It is named after the lead seal that was appended to the end in order to authenticate it. All right? And this is something that was made up, right, and set up by the so-called white man. And that is what we must understand, right? The papal bull have been used at least since the 6th century, but the term was not used until around the middle of the 13th century. All right? So now we're going to jump down and come into the British codes, right? Because there are different codes of the papal ballot. It had the French slave code, the Spanish slave code, the Dutch slave code, the Danish slave code, and the British slave code. All right? And this, what we're going to hear today, is also not going to show the foolishness, all right, of the heathenic nation, but it's also going to bring out who the deceiver or the devil is according to the scriptures.
Right.
And that is what we must understand. The so-called black man have been oppressed, all right, by all races on the planet. But the number one oppressor is the so-called white man.
Right.
Right? You have raped, pillaged, and lynched the so-called black man for hundreds of years, right? Which lines up with biblical prophecy, Deuteronomy 28. All right? And we might go into that if we get time today, or we might do that in another class to show the so-called black man what took place with him during slavery was already prophesied in the scriptures by Moses. All right? So now, when we come down, all right, the British slave code began to be passed in the mid-17th century. All right? It has been concluded by many that the British were the most brutal, cruel, and inhumane of all Europeans. All right? In 1641, Captain Philip Bell, governor of Barbados, established the Church of England in Barbados. Right? So within the whole Caribbean region, churches have been established, right, by our oppressors. That is why the so-called black man goes to church today. we was forced to go to church.
Right.
The Native Indians, right, the Hispanics, the black, we were lynched and forced to go to church.
Right.
Right? They fed your babies to alligators. Right? They cut open the bellies of pregnant women, rape men. These things are there in plain sight in history in 2020. And we still pretend, nah, that didn't happen. God love everybody. The Most High is bringing vengeance today and is going to bring full vengeance on all our oppressors for what they have done to the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man.
Right.
All right? Because the Most High power is a God of justice. You can't do what you want and it just have free pass. That is not according to the Bible. All right? Religious toleration was passed in 1689, but persecution later returned. Non-conformant churches were regarded with suspicion, so churches were setting up had to conform to British class ruling. All right? The death penalty was awarded for the most minor offenses, such as now, and this is to the so-called black man, Native Indian man, Hispanic man within the Caribbean, right? For stealing any sum, right, over a shilling, right? So you're trying to steal to feed yourself and your family. That was the death penalty. Running away, death penalty. Striking a white man, right, or plotting a revolt, that was the death penalty. These are the things that the so-called black man passed through. All right.
Right.
Now, mutilation was considered. Still out here. Falling. So I'm gonna come down a little bit. Right. Died et al. Said the British code saw slaves as heathenish and brutish. Right? So that is the mentality or the mindset I had towards the so-called black man and unfit to be governed by English law. Each slave owner was required to act as a policeman. Right? So the slave owner was acting as a policeman as it is today to suppress any humanitarian feeling he may have had and to deal with the slaves with a whip constantly in hand. All right? A Montserrat Act in 1693 permitted any white man to kill a slave who was caught stealing provisions. Right? So if you're stealing food, right, a white man was given permission to kill that black man. A Montserrat Act in 1693 permitted, I read that as a law passed in Virginia Islands in 1783 declared that if a slave struck or opposed any white person, in addition to flogging, the African, right, that's what they write it on as, but these Negroes, right, would have his nose slit and his body part cut off. That is the kind of terror and the things that the so-called black man had to pass through, right, under white supremacy and white captivity, right? And what we're going to do is also bring out, even among the East Indian person that came across in 1845 and the Chinese, they also oppressed the so-called black man, right? And we're going to also be showing you that the so-called white man also oppressed the East Indian man and he also oppressed the Chinese man.
Right.
Now, what we're bringing out is to show, according to the scriptures, who the deceiver is on the planet.
Right.
Right? What the Bible calls the devil. All right? The devil ain't no ghost walking around trying to choke people with a fork and with a red tail. The scriptures tell you it is a man. Right. Right? That is in the book of Isaiah. We're going to go through that today. Right? So come out at these Christian fairy tales, right? And learn in the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General YAHANNA and understand your history, your culture, your constitution, and also what is really taking place on the planet. All right? You'll go to the next sample. Come on. Okay. All right, somebody give me Isaiah 1 and 3.
Oh, God.
So what? Yeah, right. Read on.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner.
The ox what?
The ox knoweth his owner.
Right, so the scriptures is saying that the ox knows his owner. Read on.
And the ass, his master's crib.
The ass knows what?
His master's crib.
Right? Even a donkey knows his master's crib. All right? Read on.
But Israel do it not know.
So Israel, the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man, we lost. We don't know we identity, nor we culture, nor we history. We following everything it have. Anything it have that the heathens established, we are part of that. The Black Caucus movement, church, Muslim, and the list goes on. Pan-Africanism, Egyptology, because the black man do not know his history. So we confuse. We're not sure where we belong, who we belong to, right? And we belong to the most high power, as you read before. All right? Read on.
But Israel do it not know.
Right? So
my
the black
people.
So the black man, they do not know. Read on.
My people do it not consider.
And the most detrimental thing, we do not even consider who we are. There are priests and prophets teaching the so-called black man who he is, and sometimes the people are very teaching on the streets, they're just walking about willingly. They don't even consider him. Let me hear what these men say.
Right.
You understand what I'm showing you? These black men on these corners, let me hear what they're about. Some of us not even trying to consider according to the scriptures.
Right.
Who we are according to the Bible. All right? This is what we have up here. Right? Blow it back up there.
Okay.
Yes, I want to read it first. This here is the Bengal famine of 1943, right? Caused by British policy failure, right? And even the East Indians, that's why we're bringing this out, to show and to bring out who the real oppressor is, or the main oppressor is in society, right? The so-called white man, right? America, Babylon the Great, right? They caused the East Indians to go into famine 1943, all right? By policies, they invaded the East Indians, took over the fabric industry and so forth, and caused a great collapse among the East Indians, right? And these same East Indians, right, during that same period, fled from that persecution under the white man, came across to Trinidad. And you know what they did when they came across here? They oppressed the so-called black man.
Right.
They showed no consideration and no mercy for the so-called black man because they came here and meet us in servitude.
Right.
And they were offered contracts by the same oppressor. So the oppressor, on one hand, fighting against the East Indian, making policies and destroying the economy, and on the other hand, cutting a deal with some other East Indians. Hey, watch, you have an opportunity here for you. You understand?
Right.
Come and sign this. I will pay all the X, Y, and Z, and I will set up all your right to work over some slaves you have across the. And the East Indians, in the midst of the white oppressors destroying their economy, took that deal, sell out the people, took that deal, and come to do what? To oppress the so-called black man.
Right.
And when they come here now, after they oppress here, and they get comfortable, hear what they're saying. All the Negroes are hungry.
Right.
All is good for nothing.
Right.
But this eventually, during this time, is going to show that the East Indians, under white oppression, they was hungry too.
Right.
And that hungry caused a lot of them to run from there to run to Trinidad. And now you run to Trinidad and they're belly full. And when they're belly full, you know what you do? When the Venezuelans who was here originally before you, you're saying, hey, them ain't belong here.
Right.
The economy can't take that string. But the economy take you though. When you came across here initially, the economy housed you.
Right.
In your famine. In your oppression under the hands of the white man. And that is the pride of the heathenic nations.
Right.
That is the pride of the East Indians. Now they puff up their chest and they say, hey, oh, they're hungry. Watch them Venezuelans and then we ain't hunting for them. But when the East Indians run from their land to come here, they never return. They get fed and they get fat. They feed the family over the backs of black people, right? They get fat, they build businesses, and now them get to youth and them is good for nothing.
Right.
After they for themselves have helped set up a strategic oppression for the so-called black man. Now they're about talking them. Because they tell themselves, hey, well, we fat and we comfortable. But the Most High is not going to let that slide.
Right.
And that is what the so-called black man must realize. This warfare that is taking place right now is not about church. All right? We're going to say something, Salaki.
Yeah, Salaki, I was going to say something similar to what you're saying with the Venezuelan as well. Man.
All right.
And also to, they like to say...
Don't talk al-hard. So
yeah, can. Also to the East Indians like to say, black people is good for nothing and they're too lazy and this and that. But when I watch, like, for example, there's a small thing I just want to bring up here. When I watch, like, for example, when you go and get jobs, you understand? Because I, for myself, passed through that plenty time.
Right.
You go in and look for jobs and they're hiring their own people, making sure that people fix first.
That's right.
Before they hire you.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah?
That's right.
Right? Also to the that point, I was just going to bring the word slip mess. But I nothing. But what I'm saying is you're correct way saying I understand, and the Eastern, on the hand of the East Indians, black. Oh, I don't remember what I was going to say. So like I say again, right?
Go ahead.
They'll also like to say black people are lazy and all kind of things they tell them. But when I hear, for example, these free courses come out, because most times we can't even afford it.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? When these free courses come out, look to see how much are black people in there. The majority is we.
That's right.
You understand? The majority of them free courses come out to cooking, sewing, and all these different things. We run in there first.
Right. And
you understand?
After what you're saying, right, which is so true, right? Who built up this empire?
Right.
North, Central, and South America. Who built it up? The so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man.
Right.
We built up this entire empire. Right? This entire economy was built up by the black man. When the East Indians came across here, right, a lot of things were already established.
Right.
And they still ride the black man, you understand, to get a place of comfort. In so much that they dare not go back in there to say, I'm going to live.
Right.
Because here become the land of paradise. Off at the backs of the so-called black man.
That's right.
Officer. Yeah,
so that's so true. You're saying, because they always ride the wave
on
the tail of the black man.
Right.
And when they reach on top, they as you would say, they mess on your head.
Yeah, they get puffed up and they get prideful.
But when you look at even from the same oil boom or the oil industry, and you look at the labor riots, and you look how they come and just piggyback.
That's right.
Of the so-called OWTU and
that's right.
All that was generated.
That's right.
Is the so-called black man that established the oil industry, and they reap the benefits of all that, and they reap the struggle of the black man.
That's right. And that is always how it was from the beginning. Yeah, go ahead, Officer.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to say again, and from taking it from this angle here, you understand? I remember a point in time I worked with a company, you understand? And that company, the majority of people in that company was Negroes. We doing everything, welding, cutting, everything we doing, crane operating, everything, you understand? And it reached the point whereby right now, I mean, I'm not working there no more, but it reached the point right now, from what I understand, that 95% of the people in the company there now is East Indians.
That's right. They're making sure and see about the people.
They're making sure and see about the people.
Yeah,
you understand?
That's a big point.
Until they reach so brave now, until they say they want to make that company an East Indian company.
Yeah.
And it start off the blacks and Negroes as just bringing out.
That's right. And as Maravan bringing out that point there, right? What we have to understand is simply this, right? Even as the days coming closer to the end, the scriptures tell you every nation is going to cleave to their own. Everybody going to check for their own people. Right. This is not Jahaji Bai and one love and all that nonsense. You know, so-called black man had to cleave with your people.
Right.
The so-called black man know how to know, hey, I'm going to get into the I.S.U.P.K, get myself in check, get discipline, and get order. Right? Which is according to the scriptures. And merge in my people and build my nation. This is no longer about me. It's from time for my nation to rise out of the pitfall that we became in. You understand? It's high time for that to take place, right? Flip to the next article it's on.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Somebody give me, let's flip to the article. All right, go to the next one. Give me 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. Yeah, open it up in the meantime. Somebody give us 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. Right.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 14.
Right.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Right. And this is what the so-called black man don't understand that bringing on before. Because we don't understand how to read this Bible because of white upbringing and white teachings and so forth, and not being in the I.S.U.P.K. We cannot understand simple scriptures like this. Read it again.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 14.
Right.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
So the scriptures is saying, don't marvel, because Satan himself transformed himself that angel of light. And the Christian teaching making you to believe, all right, but this devil, he transformed himself to angel of light, so I'm frightened. That's something we that. That is not talking about that. That is talking about the so-called white man. This man is the man that have transformed himself to angel of light. You see, like what you do the East Indians? On one side, you oppressing them, putting policies and things in place and crash the economy, mash up the whole clothing industry. And on the next hand, he come in, I know what he's doing, he's sliding like a snake, just like in the garden.
Right.
And he's giving them an opportunity here on the side. Hey, here what happened? Come. I'm going to cut that flip with you, come across in Trinidad, it has some living there. It has some blacks. You can put them in a gear and they can eat. That is the deception of the so-called white man.
Right.
Who the scripture is letting you know is the devil.
Right.
And it's high time for me to come out of these fables. You understand? All these things with like Papa Boa, Bonansi, come out of these fables. You understand what I'm saying? Come out of these fables. And when they come out of these fables, they're going to understand what is taking place, even with the coronavirus. God say, I kill and I make alive.
Right.
This ain't no Satan busy. Satan working for the Most High. And if you keep watching these classes, we're going to show you that. They're not fighting up in heaven. Because people thinking they had a big war and Satan and God fighting. Them and fighting. That is why we just pray. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Because in heaven there is perfect order.
Right.
And the priests and the prophets of the Most High is praying and beseeching the Most High that the order that is in heaven be established on earth.
Right.
You ain't gonna say that it will be done on earth as it is in heaven when Satan and God fighting. If Satan and God fighting, you can't be praying to other same bacchanal. You understand? Come out of these false doctrines and don't believe you know your Bible and say, oh, you read your Bible. You need to be taught this Bible. That is the principles in this book, in the words of your forefathers. You need to be taught. You need to humble yourself, get in the I.S.U.P.K and be taught by real priests and prophets what is taking place in the scriptures. All right, read on.
Come on, the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 15. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as ministers of righteousness.
Right. So, every so-called white man can do all this pillaging, all this murdering. And today, black men still, they love with white man. They love with the oppressor.
Right.
But one thing, he don't play, but he does pay. The white man does pay. The white man does pay. The white man owe you his life.
Right.
He don't pay. You understand what I'm saying? He just pay. He just say, why like to work for the white man? He just pay. He owe you his life. Right. Because he raped, pillaged, and destroyed the entire nation.
Right.
And he flipped back that now. And you know, that white man, anybody, the one thing with them, they don't play with business, but they just play nice. Because what happened? They destroy your mind. That is what happened to the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man. And he's saying, read that part of it.
Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness.
Right. And his ministers, which is the pastors, which is the preachers, which is Creflo Dollar, T.D. Jakes, Pastor Coffee's, Pastor Gemma. If he can do that, it's an easy thing for you, for his ministers, the people that teach his doctrine to be transformed as an angel of light.
Right.
So now, not my pastor, the corona killing thousands of people. And you know what happened? Now my pastor that serve God, he holy. But that is not according to the scriptures.
Right.
Your pastor is a wicked bastard.
Right.
Because he hate the laws of God.
Right.
That's how the scriptures are showing you. Your pastor can never believe in Christ. Because the scriptures say, If you didn't believe in Moses, you can't believe in me.
That's
You
right.
understand what I'm saying? If you believe in the laws, commandments, and statutes of God, you can never believe. You can never believe in Christ, which is Yahawashi in the Hebrew. Somebody give me that scripture one time before we continue going down. Give me John chapter 5 and verse 46. Right? Let me hear what Christ has to say about that. Because you thinking here, my pastor and me, we love Jesus. You know, we love Jesus. It's time to wake up. And come out and separate yourself from this wicked empire before World War III drop.
Right.
It's going to happen. All right? Yeah, give me.
The book of John, chapter 5 and verse 46.
Right?
For had ye believed Moses, you would have believed me.
Right. So Christ saying, talking to these scribes and Pharisees, these religious leaders, if all they believe in Moses, then that's the only way all they would have believed in me. Read on.
For had ye believed Moses,
right,
ye would have believed me, for he wrote of me.
Because Moses did what? Moses wrote of Yahawashi. To believe Moses is to believe everything that Moses write, from Genesis right on. All these 5 books we like to pretend not existent within the scriptures. That was the end, right? And that is what the so-called black man don't understand. Your pastor does not believe in Moses, so you can never believe in Christ. All right? Go ahead and upside your part.
Continue with 47.
Read verse 47 number here.
Verse 47. But if ye believe not his writings.
Right? So if you don't believe in the writings of Yahawashi or the writings of Christ, you don't believe you ain't supposed to eat pork, crab, lobster, and shrimp. You ain't believe you're supposed to eat bat and shellfish. Read on.
How shall ye believe my words?
Then don't lie and say you believe in Christ.
Right.
Because he's a liar. Scriptures tell if any man say that he know me and keepeth not my commandments, he's a
right.
And that's all your Christian leaders do is lie. And it's time for the so-called black man to wake up out of these lies. Because it's clear in the scriptures. You have priests and prophets all over the world from the I.S.U.P.K. under commanding General YAHANNA, teaching this truth.
Right.
So that you can come back to your customary laws and come back to your people. Come back to loving your people, your neighbor, your brother. And stop giving these other nations their love. You give the other nations their love for 400 years. And they ride it like a horse. And still calling a nigger. It's time for the so-called black man to wake up and learn to face real talk. All right? We go through a list here, right? This was from, I think it's the dictionary, that's the one, still out there. Yes. Open it up. All right? So this here is some records and dates, right? From the East Indian Empire or the East Indian nation, right? And if you're looking at this carefully, this is some of the dates that we're bringing up here around the time when the East Indians start coming, right, across into Trinidad, right? And we're going to do the same thing with the Chinese, right? And just kind of skimming through. This was 1840. The Indian government issues a declaration of war against China, right? So the East Indians fighting against China on behalf of the British crown. That is the gear that the so-called white man put the East Indians under. A nation fighting against nation, deceiving everybody for their own gain. You understand? The same way they destroy the so-called black man, bring him across on the western side of the world, right, and work them to nothing. Until this day, no justice, right? The British expedition troops reach Tianjin, and the court sues for peace, right? Keep going up. Now come closer to 1845, right? 1843, right? 1844, 1845. Come back down again. No, this one is the Chinese, and like this is the wrong one. Come back up. All right, bring back up the next one.
Right.
And this is one with the Chinese. I only wanted the Chinese first. Right? That's the one. Right, bring the next one. right, bring one more again. All right, don't go back. I think probably you pass it. Go back again.
The first one.
Go back again, photos. Go back again. Go back one more. All right, right. We reach clear now.
That is last one.
All right, go back one more.
6.
Back again. Back again. Back again. All right. Right, so during the period of 1845, right, the East Indians, right, was suffering famine, right, the East Indians was suffering British rule and British mashing of the empire before they come across to the Caribbean, right, in Trinidad, in Jamaica, and 1 or 2 other islands. So they was running, right, from economic destruction, the same way the Venezuelans running across here, right, and that is what that we had to understand as so-called black people. Don't just see things on the internet. You understand what I'm saying? And run with it, right? I want to get the scripture telling you, not a man should move a tongue against the. Remember Exodus 11 and 17. Right? I'm going to bring that scripture before I go into this, right? Because what we're trying to establish here also is that when the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man, 11 and 7. Yeah. Right? When the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man, right, bringing out these history and these scriptures, right? No Hellenic nation, no other race should have nothing to say. You catch me? Because when you speak, when any other race speak, they're just being hypocrites.
Right.
Because the thing that they're trying to accuse the black people of, the worse than that 10 times.
Right. The book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7.
Right.
But against any of the children of Israel,
right,
shall not a dog move his tongue.
Shall not what?
Shall not a dog move his tongue.
Right. So not a dog shall move his tongue against the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man. That's what the scripture says. And when Christ walked the earth, right, and you read, I believe in Mark 15, right, you're going to hear where Christ is calling the Seraphinian woman and the Canaanite woman dogs. Going to other nations.
Right.
None of all they should move all the tongue against the children of Israel, the so-called black man. Read on.
Against man or beast.
Against man or against beast. Read on.
That ye may know how that the Lord doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
Right. And also for the Egyptologists, you're going to know that the Most High put a difference between what?
The Egyptians and Israel.
Between the Egyptian people and the Israelites. Right? I didn't think I had that today. But people always feeling like, you know, Israel is a part of Africa and so forth. But we're going to go into some maps in another class and show you that Egypt and Israel is not on the same landmass. Israel is not a part of Africa.
Right.
And we need to come out of this foolishness. If you get an old map and one that can zoom up, you're going to see there's a separation, a sea, right, between Egypt and Israel.
Right.
And Israel is also a bigger span of land, right? Because the maps are being kind of modified and so forth. And that's what we must understand. You ain't no African. It's time for the so-called black man to know that you are a different race of people.
Right.
They might be black, but they ain't no African. You use salt at the earth. Same with the Chinese and Japanese, no, there's not the same race of people. It's time for the so-called black man to wake up. That is why having some little protest and thing of recently, they wanted to take down the Nelson Mandela statue, they want to take down the Columbus statue and so forth because the lies that have been established for years, right now it's falling apart.
Right.
And that is what we must understand. Right? We can put it in.
Right,
go ahead, officer Yaka.
You know, just to emphasize what you're saying.
Right.
You know, where's the African Michael Jordan?
That's right.
The African, you know, hip-hop star.
That's right. No salt.
No salt.
No salt. That's how we are to understand. The black man is a different people. The Most High said he have made us a separate people, a holy people. All right? That's what we are to understand. The word holy means separate.
Right.
Right? Go closer to 1845. Let me see if I can bounce it up here. First one, right? Right here. This year, I believe, is what bringing out some of the the history concerning China, because even the Chinese came across here, right? I will read an article here. But we want to a little bit about the Chinese also, because the Chinese also oppress the so-called black man day and night, selling their plastic rice, beating up black women in saloons. You understand what I'm saying? And me, I don't convince nobody. Just they know that the Chinese, they do like black people.
Right.
They love your money though. You understand what I'm saying? They love the opportunity that they get from the black man to help build their nation and their people. Right? So I ain't gonna go too much into that. Because that play, you understand what we had to do? Stop going into all these Chinese restaurants and eating dog.
Right.
Following the laws are the most high. Nobody wanted to come out to a Chinese restaurant because all they know they're selling dog. No other truck in pulling up in front of you. So nobody had to convince the so-called black man, you know, let us do this, the Chinese do that. Follow the laws and your culture, and I'm not going to be in the Chinese restaurant eating plastic rice and eating dog and whatever else strange thing they be selling. Go ahead, upside your can.
It's like I say, you can never get chicken wing in Chinese restaurant.
That's right. It never had that inside, right? So Chinese, I read in article, right? Chinese immigrants first landed in Trinidad in 1806, right? So the first time they come across on the zone here is 1806, right? But that's something we had to pay consideration to, right? When the ship Fortitude docked in Port of Spain Harbor with 19 passengers on board, right? The first time the Chinese come across on Trinidad Island, right? However, the first organized Chinese immigration scheme began in 1853. All right, that is when the Chinese started coming across in Trinidad in an organized way, right? 1853, yeah, right, 1853. Tapins take Niger and made the capital of Small Sword, right? Now these come along a bit again. These dates going to show you that the Chinese, right, was even in war with the British, right, fighting for opium and so forth. And the British, which is the so-called white man, was trying also to destabilize, right, the Chinese economy, right, to get the opium, right, so that they can get more wealth and more power. Whilst I have slaves on this side of the world. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Or this one was the East Indian one or the Indian government history declaration? Oh, that's why it's happening. So this one is which one?
This one, it have a mix of Chinese blue and like the Indian one.
Oh, so it end up coming out in one article. Yeah. But then go back down to the Chinese, I'm gonna get the Chinese one. Right? Because I already passed this. Right? 1850, the death of Emperor Duzhuang, Emperor, I can't pronounce that way, I said that Chinese name, right? Right? Zhang Quang ascends the throne, right? Taiping, the Taiping, or this is the Taiping rebellion begins, right? That is the 1850. When the Taiping rebellion begins, right? Henry Sherman founds the North China Herald in the next one. Should bounce it up just now. Go again. Right. Open up the safe for me. That is the Nyan rebellion, right? The Nyan, so I'm reading it through. The Nyan rebellion, Nyan also spelled with Gale's romanization, right? In 1853 to 1868. Major revolt in the eastern and central Chinese provinces of Shandong, Hainan, and Hut. It occurred when the Quang dynasty was preoccupied with the Great Taiping Rebellion, right, in southern and central China, right? So we go into the next clip now to see the Taiping Rebellion, right? And this is around the same time that the Chinese start coming across to Trinidad, right? Which is 1853, right? The Taiping Rebellion, radical political and religious upheaval that was probably the most important event in China in the 19th century. It lasted for some of 14 years, from 1850 to 1864. So if you're watching the date at the Taiping Rebellion, you're going to see it coinciding and lining up with when the Chinese start coming across to Trinidad. Right? And that's what we have to understand. Even the Chinese, during the oppression, run across to the Caribbean and so forth, seeking better conditions for the people. So no heathen can come and say, them nigga them so and so. They deserve this. We deserve that. Because they was running across here being destitute. The Chinese, the East Indians, and another class we going to go into the Syrians also. Right? It lasted for some of 14 years, 1850 to 1864. Right? It ravaged 17 provinces, took an estimated of 20 million lives. So they had something in China also like a civil war, right? Because of the oppressor, because of the British trying to take over the opium and take over the empire, right? End up making them have a war, and it cost them 20 million lives, right? This is Chinese history. This is what we bring it out is to show who the real oppressor is on the planet, or the number one oppressor sits here, right? Salakia, right? SHALAM again, right? 20 million lives, and irrevocably altered the Quang dynasty, right? 1644, right? The rebellion began under the leadership of Hong Quan, right? 1814. A disappointed civil service examination candidate who influenced, now this is important too, right? A disappointed civil service examination candidate who, influenced by Christian teachings, had a series of visions and believed himself to be the Son of God. Let me tell you how destructive Christianity is. The white man pushed Christianity not only on the so-called black man and the natives trying to convert them, he pushed Christianity all in China and destabilized the whole Chinese economy. Within the same time that the Chinese now running from that, come across here and start setting up to save themselves and oppress the so-called black man even further with the East Indians. That's how serious and important history is. So this ain't no all is one and one love.
Right.
You understand? That whole we call him again Bob Marley doctrine and philosophy. And he's a white man, by the way, and people don't know that. Because he's the seed of your father. That's why this class is for blacks, Native Indians, and Hispanics. But Marley's father was a white man, and whoever your father is, that is who he is. And that is why the so-called black man don't know his history. They know his history, it's because they're black. Because that's slavery. Everybody else knows the history. So let me continue reading on it. However, the first organized Chinese immigration scheme began in 1853, in which year the vessels Australia, right, Clarendon, and Lady Florida Hastings brought a total of 1,100 Chinese indentured laborers to Trinidad. In 1862, the Wanata brought 452 passengers from Hong Kong. In 1865, about 600 more arrived here. And in 1866, Little Red Riding Hood brought 324 immigrants. There was no other organized scheme to bring Chinese immigrants until the end of World War I. All right? When the Chinese Zhuang Wang group in Port Spain was responsible for the introduction here of large numbers of Chinese. However, many Chinese reached Trinidad on their own in the 19th century. So after that, Chinese started coming across to Trinidad on their own, right, during the 19th century and half of the 20th century. The Chinese, who never became more than a tiny percentage of the population, established themselves mainly as shopkeepers. And a lot of people still be kind of aware that there are a lot of Chinese shopkeepers in Trinidad.
Right.
So they come across here, just like the East Indians, realizing that opportunity, more start traveling on their own and come up and start setting up shops, right? As setting up businesses as shopkeepers, right? Among the blacks and the Native Indians and the Hispanics, of course, in Trinidad, right? Looking to make gain and looking to make money. And none of them never tried to reach out to the so-called black man to try to deliver him from the situation in. Under the same white man that oppressing them. You understand what I'm saying? As they say, every door for themselves. That's what the heathens think. They hate white people. And the book of Psalm 23 talk about that. The plan, they conspire together, not to even make the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man know there's one family of people. Like to make sure and keep no pressure so we wouldn't rise up, we wouldn't rise again. You understand? But all that coming to end. You understand? The right. Starting it. You understand? I must say, or I should say, continuing it right now with the coronavirus.
Right.
Right. Right. The owners so they started coming down right, as shopkeepers and owners of restaurants and laundries. You understand? Now the low Chinese laundry thing get popular too because they're famous for that, right? It is likely that between 1920 and 1950, every Trinidad village had, sorry, read that again. It is likely that between 1920 and 1950, every Trinidad village had a Chinese shop. The vast majority of the restaurants were owned by Chinese. Every laundry was Chinese owned. And that's what we have to understand. Business open and they're locking the business for the people,
right,
for the family. Every Chinese laundry and restaurant in the country, Chinese owned. And the white man oppressing he ain't doing them nothing. They're paying the taxes, the white man getting the cut, they're beating the backs of the black man, he in the field. Cutting down forests, planting cane, planting tobacco in Tobago, and the East Indian now, them is like supervisor set up over
right,
and talking about the reserve colony land. Yeah, when black people cleared on the whole thing and was cultivating that before the East Indians reach it. Right? The government come and give the East Indians colony land, and the black man now all over in the ghetto, fighting to knock up around 10 by 10 all over the place. And on top of it, when they look sharp, the comments sometimes and will lose down. You know, 10 by 10. They're trying to get your family together.
Right.
And still watching them. Watch them poor. Watch them black people. They watch them the poor. You catching me? After all, they abuse black people. You understand what I'm saying? The black man had to wake up and come back to his knowledge, which is this Bible, to rule this planet again. And that will take place in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA.
Right. So now,
right, go ahead.
Just emphasize the way you're saying again.
Right.
You know, I mean, they're talking about, you know, the whole gentrification in the US.
Right.
But the same process happened down here in Canada.
Right.
Because even, you know, when you know, our grandparents gave stories of the 1950s, 60s, and 70s
right.
of area that was once owned by black people.
Right.
Most of them, some of them could agree, some of them couldn't.
Right.
But most of them were swindled out of their property.
Right.
You understand? By these so-called Chinese, these so-called East Indians.
But right, but here you catch everything that was happening, right, within the North, Central, and South America was strategic. Because the so-called black man don't have no nation to run to.
Right.
Right? He already know, but a lot of people now don't know the history. But these slaves, right, as time keep coming down, they keep losing the culture and the history. But in the early slavery, a lot of them understand that it was kidnapped by the so-called white man, sold by the Africans to the Arabs who built the ships and so forth and brought here. So that is why you're not hearing no stories. A black man, he make it. And when I mean he make it, he run back to Africa. He's a survivor. They have no survivor stories at the so-called black man running across from the Americas and running back to Africa. Because they know Africa was not the homeland.
Right.
They know they was sold by Africans. That's why they never try to run back. They know Rome and conquer Jerusalem. So you don't have no way to run to. So when a slave run, or a slave doing is running away, he don't know where he running to. He running anyway. He can run to get away from the white man and to get away from the heathen. Because they don't have a home. Because their home was destroyed by the so-called white man. And that is what Christ is returning for. You understand? To destroy the heathen nations and give the so-called black man back his home and his rulership again.
Right.
You understand? That is what we have to understand. Right? Let me just continue. Let me just finish this article, right? It is likely that between 1920 and 1950, every Trinidad village had a Chinese shop, and vast majority of restaurants were owned by the Chinese, and every laundry was Chinese owned. From around the period of the 1970s, it became noticeable that the pattern had changed. Most of the young, educated Chinese had turned their backs on the village shops, so they were into bigger things now, and were going into banking and other forms of business.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So if you're watching right now, we're going to a small Chinese shop again. The Chinese holding on big business or supermarkets, big restaurants, you understand? And the document showing here, they're holding on banking systems, you understand? I'm showing them businesses and so forth, right? And that is basically the same context that the Chinese is coming under, just as the East Indians, you understand? Right? Use the black man and pretending all of is one. You understand? When they go by the car place, by the bamboo, they lock the whole bamboo. You understand what I'm saying? So they can control the prices. They go back here, he tell you $50, go for the getting it cheaper nowhere else. You have to go all around the bamboo, and it's the same thing. Because you don't call in rather than tell Raja going on a man come looking for so and so. That is only lock. The lockdown market. And the black man, we not in that situation. You understand? We not ruling none of the industries and factories and so forth.
Right.
Because we divided as a people. And that is how we have to come back to the knowledge of the forefathers. That is going to bring the nation back together. As Zephaniah 2 and 1 tell you, gather yourself together. Gather together, all the nation not desired. We as the nation of people are not desired, and we have to come back. How we coming back? We have to know history.
Right.
How we going to start a love you, brother, is knowing history. Because when we read the scriptures, now we know, wait now, Christ talking about my black brother, my Hispanic brother, my Native Indian brother and sister.
Right.
That is what this book talking about. This is not talking about the Chinese and Japanese and East Indian and the white man. You understand? That is why you have to know your history. Otherwise, they will read this Bible confused. And a lot of black people don't understand this Bible, say, nah, this Bible ain't making sense because they can't read the Bible. They was not taught the Bible. They need to be taught this Bible in the I.S.U.P.K. You need to learn your history in the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander General YAHANNA. Right? You need to come in the I.S.U.P.K. and get into archaeology. So these things are going to prove all that we say. Just as we bring it out in these classes, right, day to day. Right? Your scripture breakdown class, so you're going to understand, right, what the scriptures is saying. Right? That's by our camp leader of Sagalawan. Right? You have law class. Right? You have Hebrew class, which is our original language. You understand? You have Sabbath service. You are going to teach you more about the culture of your people. You have history. Going to bring you from the beginning of times of Adam till now. You understand? In terms of what taking place in so-called black man. Right? And that is what we have to understand, right? Right? Somebody give me Isaiah 14 and 6. Let me touch on more because before we wrap up. So as the days going on, what we're going to be doing, we're going to keep bringing out more history so that when we get more into the scriptures or as the classes going through during the week, when the priests and prophets bringing out scriptures, they're going to have a better understanding and can more relate to what is being said. Because as we bring out in the earlier part of the class, this Bible was written by black men. So this Bible was written, as we're saying, allegory and similes, slangs. And if you don't understand black culture or how the black man does talk and express himself, you can't understand what he means. Like when we go see a woman and say, hey boy, that's small hot. A white man going up and try to feel she temperature, thinking, wait, that she hot. Let me see, she burning, let me see she burn my hand. And we're not talking about that, we're talking about the appearance or the beauty of that black woman. You understand what I'm saying? And that is what we have to understand. We have a different something about which the scriptures refer to as salt. We need to understand the culture, know who the Most High is, a terrible power. You understand? That is what we need to understand. That is what he tells you the whole duty of the so-called black man is to fear him and keep commandments. You understand what I'm saying? We don't understand how to see God because we mind trapped in religion and false doctrine. The Most High is a father to the nation of Israel. And if you don't get that concept, when you read this Bible, caricature doing wrongdoing is the same way the Most High with his chosen children, the so-called black man. That is how we end up in this condition. He correcting me. Right. You understand what I'm saying? And now he's showing you how to return to him. You understand what I'm saying? Come back to the Most High. You understand? By coming back to your culture. That is how we're going to return to the Most High. Not by crying and singing and dancing. That's going to lead to death. Right? Somebody give me the Isaiah 14.
Can.
Read from verse 1. Let me see something.
Can. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1.
Right.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
Right. Read it again.
Can. Book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
Right. So the scriptures say that the Most High is going to have mercy on Jacob. Who is Jacob according to the scriptures? The so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man. All right. That is descendants of Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Right. And maybe next class we will be going into the book of Deuteronomy to show you the prophecies that Moses made. Right. Concerning the so-called black man, how we end up here, and some of the things that is going to establish and prove who we are according to the Bible.
Right.
All right. Read on.
Can. And will yet choose Israel.
And will do what?
And will yet choose Israel.
And he will yet choose the nation of Israel. All right, read on.
Can. And set them in their own land.
And do what?
And set them in their own land.
Right. So we read earlier the Jews black. And he's going to set the nation of Israel in their own land. In the land of Israel right now, full heathen. Right? Full of Caucasians. He's going to set them in the own land. And the scriptures show you how that's going to take place. We're going to put them into captivity. These things in the scriptures. These things what your Christian pastor is not reading. All right, read on.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
Right.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Right.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord.
Right. And the Israelites, we're going to do what? Possess them, which means own them. In the land of the Lord, which is Zion, which is Israel, which is Jerusalem, right? We don't.
For servants and handmaids.
For what?
For servants and handmaids.
Right. So the same way that had the so-called black man in captivity, when Christ returns, this is what's going to take place. The game going to change.
Right.
We're going to possess them for servants and for what?
Handmaids.
And for handmaids, right? Read on.
And they shall take them captives, who captives they were.
Right. Read that again.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
Right. And we shall take them captive. Whose captives? We will. That alone making it know the so-called white man, he is an imposter.
Right.
You understand? Because read the scripture one more time.
Verse 2.
The same one in the street.
All right. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
Right. So they shall take them captive, whose captives they were. Who was captives? The so-called black man.
Right.
Under who? Under the so-called white man.
Right.
Right? The white man wasn't captives under the so-called black man. You wouldn't find that nowhere in history. That is how you know that the white man, right, is an imposter. He is not the real Jews.
Right.
To the Bible.
Right.
All right, read on.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
And shall do what?
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
The black man is going to rule over his oppressors. Read on.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
Right. And this scripture relating to everything we spoke about before. The hard bondage, he was made to serve. He was forced to serve this hard bondage under our oppressors.
Right.
Right? Which is the so-called white man and every other race. All right? Had a hand in oppressing the so-called white man. And they have a punishment for that according to the scripture. And that is what we read in here. All right, read on.
Verse 4. And thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how had the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased.
Right. So now the scripture saying that thou shalt take up this proverb. So this is what we saying here now. The same way they say them black people and them good for nothing. We could be having a proverb to say, wait now, how the oppressor cease.
Right.
That is after World War III. America destroyed. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We know picking up this proverb. Wait now, boy. That great America, boy, gone through. Read on.
Verse 5. The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked.
What the Most High have done?
The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked.
Right, read on.
And the scepter of the rulers.
Right. And that is what's going to take place World War III. Right, read on.
Verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke.
Right.
He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hinder it.
Right. So now, that's how we are bringing out the so-called white man oppressed the so-called black man. He oppressed the East Indians. He oppressed the Chinese and every nation on the planet. And nobody can hinder a white man.
Right.
You understand? He's supreme power. You understand? British rule all the way up to America. Everybody afraid of America. And America cutting the flick and doing what they want. They're running in Venezuela right now because they feel wherever. Them running don't get to see what drugs. Any biggest drug dealers are from America. All them president and them Reagan and all of them selling drugs. Clinton. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
People pass through one of the greatest disasters, the crack epidemic.
Right.
You understand? This happened because of the so-called white man. And nobody can put him in check. But he running down after he concoct a story to try to put Maduro in check.
Right.
They got drugs on you. You understand what I'm saying? It was always the biggest drug dealers. They run across in China, and we were bringing out it earlier, right? By the Chinese, and they want to take over all the opium and poppy fields. You understand? It had world wars because of that too. You understand? I believe it was World War II. Had a part to doing that. You understand what I'm saying? Because they want to take over everything that any nation owned and put them under servitude. Read on.
Verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Right. That's what going to take place.
Verse 8. Yea, the four trees rejoice at thee,
right,
and the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come against us.
Right. So now since they established, nobody ain't come against the so-called white man. Don't know verse 13.
Verse 13.
Right.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Right. So now the white man saying, this is prophecy showing you the mental and the spirit of the white man. You understand? He's saying, I will ascend into heaven. Right? I will exalt my throne above the stars as the head, as the powerhouse in society, as the powerhouse in the economic system, the financial system, in the military system, as the superpower.
Right.
Right? I all up in space. I everything locked. We don't?
I will sit also among the mount of the congregation,
right, the highest seat,
in the sides of the north.
Nice.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Right.
I will be like the Most High.
Right. So that oppressor, the so-called white man, he is saying what? I is going to be like the Most High. He wanted to be the head ruler, the chief and the head ruler.
Right.
He wanted to dictate whether he can marry man, he can be lesbian, he can be a child molester. I will legalize that. He wanted to dictate the laws that is surround the planet.
Right.
But that is not according to the scriptures and is not according to the knowledge of our forefathers. It's not according to the knowledge of God.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Homosexuality is an abomination. Right? Smoking weed, that is an abomination. Right? The scriptures tell you that herbs was created for food and medicine. We need to come back to we culture. So we'll understand how to run this planet. You can't be eating shellfish and prawns and crab and all that kind of thing.
Right.
Because what's going to happen, like what was up in India, cholera.
Right.
What happening now because of that? Right? Corona.
Right.
Okay.
What happened back in Africa? Ebola.
Right.
You understand? Because they're eating bushmeat. Some strain a disease from them monkey and them. Wherever they do them, how they eat them or rape them. You know what they do? That's how they jump.
Right.
Spread like wildfire. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the wickedness and the contrariness of the heathenic spirit and the white and the so-called black man not being in power, right? Or ruling the earth right now. Read on.
Verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell.
What's going to happen to the so-called oppressor?
Thou shalt be brought down to hell.
Right, so the oppressor, Salakia, not the so-called, but the oppressor is going to be brought down to hell. And hell is representing a low condition.
Right.
Right? If you don't understand hell and heaven and so forth, keep watching the classes and they're going to get the breakdown about hell and heaven and understand what taking place concerning that. Read on.
To the sides of the pit.
Right.
Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee.
Right. So the scripture saying something going to happen. Right? After a while. Right? Now, people going to watch and narrowly look. What do you mean? What are you going on here, buddy? Suspicious. Read on.
And consider thee, saying, is this the man?
Is this the what?
Is this the man?
Right. So this whole passage talking about what? A man. Read on.
That made the earth to tremble.
To make the what?
That made the earth to tremble.
So this man, this nation of people made the earth to tremble. And that's what we have to understand. Right? Read on.
That they shake kingdoms. Verse 17. That made the world as a wilderness.
Right.
And destroyed the cities thereof.
Right.
That opened not the house of his prisoners.
Right. So that is the nature and the mindset of your oppressor. Destroying everything, conquering everything, every nation free. The so-called white man right now, you understand? And the prison houses, he ain't opening it.
Right.
It's full right up with black people. Right? They say the American prisons have more prisoners in the prison, more than every other place on the planet combined together. That is the amount of prisoners America have locked up. So-called black men, Native Indian men, and Hispanic men.
Right.
Right? Right? So we go hold up on that for now.
Okay.
You understand? And that is what we have to understand, that the oppressor is talking about the so-called black man, right? The devil is talking about the oppressor Salaki is talking about the so-called white man. The devil is speaking about the white man, the man that oppresses every nation on the planet.
Right.
You understand? And have a perpetual hatred for the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man. Right? We must wake up, start to understand history, we culture, get out of the Christian church, right? And start to read this Bible. You understand? Read this Bible. The scripture there, Revelation 1 and 3. Blessed is the man that reads out of this book of the prophecy, because the time is at hand. World War III is at hand.
Right.
Time for the black man to wake up and come out of all these doctrines. None of these philosophies and doctrines can help you right now. People post up all kind of things. All kind of science and deep thing and Dr. Sadie and none of them working right now. Right? Them Africans and East Indians have customs and drinking the urine and all kind of things. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Right? Drinking the pee, all kind of miracle working thing. But when the pandemic was out, all these doctrines fall apart. Right? So somebody gave me Psalms 83 and we're going to wrap up on that. All right? So we're going to understand and put in the context all what we talk about, these things that the scriptures prophesy.
Right.
All right?
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1.
Right. Read on.
Keep thou not thou silence, O God.
Right.
Keep thou not thou silence, O God.
Yeah.
Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo,
read on.
Thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Right. So David is saying here that our enemies have made a tumult, right? And they have lifted up the head. Read on.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Right. What they have done, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And we just read in Exodus, I believe, 7 and 11, that the people that the scriptures is talking about here, God's people, is children of Israel. Read
right.
On. And consult against thy hidden one.
And what have they done?
Consulted against thy hidden one.
They have consulted against thy hidden ones. Right? The ones that people don't know is real Jews right now.
Right.
You understand? Read on.
Verse 4. They have said.
What is? Read on.
Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
What is it?
Come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Right. So to cut them off from being a nation. Bring me across in captivity, separate families,
right.
Have we in different locations, Jamaican, Barbadian, Grenadian, Venezuelan.
Right.
So now we divided. We get cut off from knowing who is a nation of people, Americans, and so forth. Read on.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So that what?
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right. So they try to cut off the so-called black man. That the name of Israel, let's say the name of Israel, that the black people will not be considered as Israelites.
Right.
No more. And that is the struggle today. To make the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man know the culture and realize Vietnam as an Israelite.
Right.
This is the first time some people hear the race.
That's right.
They always believe there was Africans. When the Africans don't give a damn.
Right.
Them don't care about it, never care about it. You understand? So many African leaders, Nelson Mandela turned president in Africa. They never try to salvage it.
Right.
So they know it's not the same race. We call it Barack Obama. He never in no way tried to do nothing for black people.
Right.
And you still walking around trying to tell yourself and trying to tell people that you are African. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're confused and they don't understand your identity. They don't understand your heritage. He is not an African. That is what the so-called black man don't understand. They might be dark skinned, but they are different dark skin races. Right? Go ahead.
So like I said, just as I say now, just remember some now.
Right.
Because it had some emancipation thing where they show on TV now.
Yeah.
And one of the African leaders they came across.
Right.
Right? In Trinidad, he was on the TV, they was giving a report, and they was saying something like that when they come across here, they know it have like, I think about 4,000 or 5,000 other people across here. You understand? Which means these African leaders knew how much of their people it had over here in Trinidad. You understand? So they but we, as you rightfully bringing out there, we don't know that we and the Africans is two different.
I believe Officer McCrack was bringing out my time. I mean, Officer Mike was bringing out that time that he had some footage with it, so we had a chance to get that, because even the African races know who are their people. Anywhere in the world. So I was saying, and I think President Putin had bring up something recently there and saying Africa is just a place to bury them. You understand? Because show them the mental. You understand what I'm saying? Because the Africans are all conquered by the so-called white man. You understand? Conquer the whole of Africa. He rename Africa. Christianity is what ruling Africa right now. And that is rubbish people that try to push away Dashiki and Wakanda. You understand? And all the same, after all they give up all the resources, all the see as our God, when all they're dead, all they gain from Africa is just a burial. You understand? Right? And the so-called black man, I know you're not an African, separate from all our rubbish. Come back to your culture, come back to your laws, come back to your power. You understand? Come back to your people. Right? Get back with yours. Get back with your own. Get in the I.S.U.P.K under Commandant General YAHANNA. Learn up your constitution and your history. Right? And with that, we will pass the class over to Peace and Officer Yakan.
Let's give it up for you, teacher. Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the word. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3 from verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, as we know, is the Lord's Passover, and that date will be given by the generals. As we know, the Passover is, I should say, pushed back until further notice. Remind Akiam and Aquathiam to check on social media, such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on, for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in a school, he then is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, like shirt, like pants, like headband or scarf. And let's say you say I imagine. Back on your akadam to rise and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashemaya, Wadash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwafka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemaya, Nathan Lanawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kawawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawawathinawa, Wala'a, Tabianawa, Banasaya 1,
Abad, Awashinawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahasapara, La'ai Walamium, Aman.
All right, what we said in the English was our Father, which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In the earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
We're going to say the blessings in Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shai. Wa Makaala. Wa Alahayim. Matazabia. Alawap Yahanna. Alawapiam. Hasaraniam. Hakatazal Yam. Hakayal Yam. Wa Akwafiam. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. Tawara Aman.
All right, in the English, bless you, Yahweh. And Yahweh Shai. And Michael. And the angel. Commanding General Yahanna. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it.
We're going to say the Hakak, the power. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. Abakashah. Latan Hakak. Larapa'a. Kalmakaala. Wakal Madawa. Hakak. Lataha. Hamatazarium. Hakak. Lahakwayam. Hamatayam. Hamatayam. Hakak. Irakawa. Hamata'ala. Lagarashon. Bahashem. Yahushai. Tawara Aman.
All right, in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. And these are the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Listen to us now. Right now. Send evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the heathen. That speak against us. Thy prophets. The teachers. The princes. The priests. The Israelite brothers. And the school. Send evils. And curses. And punishment. And destruction to the heathen. And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel, that refuse to give to the school, force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and to the nation and their drug dealers. The court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, alienation, skinheads, Posikomotazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channel, and the radio channel. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues.
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 Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plagues.
Let the plagues.
Shake the house.
Shake the house.
Of the thief.
Of the thief.
And the murderer.
And the murderer.
Let Yahweh-Shai.
Let Yahweh-Shai.
Michael. And Gabriel.
And Gabriel.
Come down with a flying saucer.
Come down with a flying saucer.
And punish all the heathen.
And punish all the heathen.
That come up against us.
That come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
That is the angel.
That is the angel.
That hath done it.
That hath done it.
Cause it to be spread.
Cause it to be spread.
Through the media.
Through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh-Shai.
In the name of Yahweh-Shai.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to say now the blessed Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Yahweh-Shai.
Yahweh-Shai.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
YAHANNA.
YAHANNA.
Wahamayak.
Wahamayak.
Saparia.
Saparia.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa.
Rapa.
Magan.
Magan.
Hagan.
Hagan.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General
Generals.
Generals.
Captains.
Captains.
Officers.
Officers.
Troopers. Sisters.
Sisters.
The children.
Children.
All the brothers and sisters fighting coming to the truth.
All the brothers and sisters fighting to come to the truth.
Kayalwana.
Barak
Napash.
Shariah.
Kintian family.
Kintian family.
Usulan family.
Usulan family.
Koto family.
Koto family.
Philip family.
Philip family. Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
All the generals.
All the generals.
Captains.
Captains.
Officers.
Officers.
Troopers.
Troopers.
Shamka. Yapa. Para. The Koto family.
Koto family.
John family.
John family.
Busby family.
Busby family.
Figaro family.
Figaro family.
And all the brothers and sisters fighting to come to the truth.
All the brothers and sisters fighting to come to the truth. Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
The generals.
Generals.
Captains. The officers. The troopers. All Israel. The destroyer of Israel. Yakab. Amatazah. Nadab. Figaro family. Busby family. John family. The Alexis family. The Koto family. Philip family. Commanding General YAHANNA. Generals. Captains.
Officers.
Troopers. Sisters. Children. Galawan family.
Officer
Swapman family.
Officer
Barrier family.
Officer
Shan family.
All the destroyed of Israel.
All the destroyed of Israel. Bahashem. Yahweh-Shai. Tawad Aman.
What we said in English was, Lord, in the name of Yahweh-Shai, bless us, and Israel, and the school, bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones, in the name of Yahweh-Shai. Thank you. So be it.
C'est ça. Let's give the teacher one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I imagine Shabbat. Amajam Shabbat, Barak, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yashai Brakatam.
Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yashai Brakatam.
Daddy Mata, class dismissed.